My shallow heart's the only thing that's beating. Till then I walk alone. What up? Back to walking. Something the homeless man does a lot. Got Mountain Dew. I got therapy tomorrow. Tomorrow's Saturday. So we are walking closer to therapy. So that way I can be where I need to be in the morning. What an epic night tonight, guys. I don't know if you guys saw the videos, but I've never seen Metallica before. Totally worth it. Some of the best videos from tonight are yet to come. I wasn't able to post everything because Wi-Fi. So, and I don't know the next time I'll be connected to Wi-Fi in order to upload those videos. So, guess y'all will just have to wait. But I had an interesting conversation tonight with a lot of different people, but like I said before, guys, I started social media with the purpose of fixing my life. If I can't find a job, at least maybe I could become a successful social media creator, right? I see some of these people making $30,000 a month on social media, and I started doing social media 2 years ago, and I thought that suicide and overdose were these big issues, and I was just going to gain this massive following quickly, and that has not happened. I mentioned Nick Nico the other day. He has amassed 11,000 followers in less than a year, and in 2 years of me doing social media, I've only been able to get 1,000. But 1 + 1 is 1 + 1 + 1 + 1. One day I'll get there. I don't have a job right now, but I get up and I spend 8 hours every day filling out new applications and calling on jobs and getting denied jobs, and I just keep trying. And when it doesn't work, in the afternoon I go and I support local music, and I continue to grow the Sober Lit family and spread the word about Suicide Registry Organization, this suicide page that memorializes people for who they were and not what happened to them. The website's still under construction, but a lot of that has to do with this situation here. Over the last 2 years, if the 1,000 followers I did have would hit the share button and talk about the homeless man and everything else, maybe I could be making $30,000 a month off Facebook, and maybe a job wouldn't be so important. The last 2 years of my life have been the hardest 2 years of my life. And life shouldn't be this difficult for anybody, and I fully believe that. And there's a lot of people who I spoke to tonight who would agree. People that I refer to loosely as friends, because I do have PTSD, and friend is kind of the F word for a lot of people, not just me. It's hard to know who you can trust these days. It's hard to know who's talking behind your back and who's not. It's even harder when you have a big dream or a big goal or a big vision to try to explain it to somebody, so I don't bother half the time, but the picture's starting to come together. Things are happening slowly but surely. It's because I didn't give up. For me, 90% of my days suck. They're spent alone, walking on the side of the road, contemplating every mistake I ever made. It makes it really difficult when you realize that karma is real, and that makes it even harder when you feel like you deserve what you're going through. Sometimes I feel like I deserve it. Maybe one day when I'm not homeless, I'll get into the whole why I feel like I deserve this. But I never thought it would last this long. And I know I have a few loyal followers who actually do watch these to the end, so it's going to be a little long. I got a lot to say tonight. I got a long walk. When finding a job didn't work, and I did my first video ever. If you're an OG follower, you've looked at my YouTube, and you've seen the homeless man's first video ever. It was almost 2 years ago now. For those of you who don't know, I had the option of picking up a revolver and killing myself, or doing what I'm doing right now. It was on that day that I told myself, I'm going to turn my pain into purpose. I'm going to start talking about this shit. Hopefully I can make change. Like I said, I got a lot to get out and I don't know how to get it all out, so we're just gonna keep ranting here, keep going on down this little rabbit hole. But I see people that make $30,000 a month off social media. $30,000 a month, and I'm like, you know, if I could make $30,000 a month, and mark my words, and because this has always been the plan, it's never not been the plan. The plan has never changed. If I can make $30,000 a month off social media, I only need like $3,000 a month. That's it. $3,000 a month would take care of me and my child support. It'd help me find a place to live. It would change my whole life. And so if I could get like 100,000 followers even, not even a million, millions of huge numbers. If I could 100x or 10x or 100x what I have right now, I have 1,000 followers, so over the next 10 or 15 years, if I can get up to 100,000 followers, making $30,000 a month off social media, I'd take about $3 grand for myself, and I'd take the other $27,000 a month, and I would find somebody who's just like me, who's chronically homeless, but also addicted, right? I'm not addicted anymore. Once an addict, always an addict is a lie. It's kind of true depending on how you view it. There are days when I do crave things, but I'm not an addict anymore. I don't allow myself to fall into that trap anymore. But my goal has always been to make like $30,000 a month off social media, take $3,000 a month, not have to worry so much about finding a job or taking care of myself anymore, and then take the other $27,000 a month, find somebody chronically homeless and say, hey man, you want to go to rehab? I'll pay for it cash with Mark Zuckerberg's money that he paid me for doing social media, for getting views and different things, right? It's my goal that one day everybody will know the homeless man, and I can go to shows and festivals, and they'll be like, wow, there's the homeless man. There's the homeless man. That's that dude that parties. He's sober, but dude, that dude parties harder than the rest of us. And when you see the videos from tonight that I haven't released yet, you'll get the picture. I party just as hard as everybody else. Sober. All right? I'm no different than anybody in that room. I feel weird if I don't have a drink in my hand. Everybody else is around me drinking, so I have to have my Mountain Dew. Because otherwise, you know, that happened tonight. I'm like, I feel weird. I have to have a drink. I got to have something in my hand. So I went and got a Mountain Dew. That's what the Sober Lit family is all about. Some are sober, some are lit. Together we're all sober lit. Cali sober is a real thing, okay? I don't deal with people who drink alcohol or smoke marijuana. I don't care about that. What I care about is that chronically homeless dude that's over there with a needle in his arm and has no hope in his life. No place to go, no place to live, no one to fall back on. All right, and when I go to these shows and these festivals and I see people, these people got cars, they got houses, they got jobs, they got their shit figured out. They don't need what I have to offer as bad as other people do. But here's the thing, I can't do any of this without my followers talking about who the homeless man is, running up my views and running up my follows and my shares and my likes. It don't cost you nothing. Don't cost you nothing. You can hit the buttons right now. Like, comment, share. Boom, boom, boom. Didn't cost you anything at all. And to think of how many local musicians and bands that I do support, and to think of how many of them have never hit the share button. You know, but I don't allow that to change who I am. I'm going to support you if I see you putting in the work and posting your music and going to 9 practices in 3 weeks. And when I see you working hard, I'm going to help your dream come true, because when your band blows up and you get invited to some big festival to open up for Dropout Kings or, you know, 3 Days Grace or like some big band, it's my hope that I might be able to get backstage and meet those band members and do interviews with them about suicide, the 60-second interviews and things. But none of this dream can come true without you. And I've never really fully expressed it in a video, so that's kind of why I'm ranting right now. It's like, maybe if I share a little bit of the vision, maybe they'll get it. I don't know. I was having a conversation with somebody today at the show, and I'm like, I get up 8 hours a day and I look for a job, and if I had a job, I'd work 8 hours for some other dude putting food on his plate. But just because I have a job doesn't mean I'm going to give up on this dream. Somebody told me maybe I should go post my videos on TikTok, and that's true too. I didn't think I was going to be homeless this long. I've had to have 5 phones just so I can save all of my video footage. I have 2 years of my life recorded on 5 different phones, and I have no computer to back them up to. It would take like a 2 terabyte hard drive. I'd have to have like a $700 computer, but I gotta have a place to live and a place to set all it. I'm not making shit off social media. The biggest check I ever got from Facebook was $300, and that was when Jalea died. Everybody wanted to watch that. I could be like these other creators, and I could go downtown right now to the courthouse and over by the Jubilee Center, and I could record heroin addicts sleeping on the side of the street, just like you see on TikTok and Facebook. I could do that. I could exploit them for views, but that's not me. That's not who I am. I've helped a good amount of people get into rehab now, and never once have I ever spoken about them, because I'm not going to exploit them for views. Now, if they get sober and they get, a year down the road and they get a house and I start a podcast and I find a place to live at, whatever, eventually you will come to know some of them. Again, I'm not going to exploit them for views. That's got to be something they're willing to do. It was hard enough just to get them to go get clean. 7 out of 10 of them are going to fail. So, just got to keep trying, I guess. I already warned you guys earlier this video was going to be long. I could wait for it to snow, and I could go right up here to Browns Park, to this park bench I used to sleep on, and I could go to sleep and I could record myself beard freezing and frozen boogers and half froze to death on a park bench. I could record myself doing that. I could record what it's really like being homeless out here sometimes. Get away from doing all this fun stuff and exploit that for views. But again, that's not me. I'm not out here suffering. Even though there's some people behind this camera that would probably like to see me suffer. Sorry. Thanks to social media, I don't have to sleep outside like I used to. You know who you are, and I always tell you in every single video, thank you so much for leaving a light on. You're proof that good people do exist. It's just not very many of them, but I mean, look at this. I'm in the middle of the fucking street. Not a single car anywhere. Not behind me. Not that way. The world is my fucking oyster. What do I have to complain about? I'm alive. My legs work. I'm sober. I can see. I can hear. I can taste. Life's fucking great. I'm still here. It's a fucking miracle. I'm 31 years old now. If I look at tomorrow, it sucks just as bad as today. But if I look at when I'm 50 or 60, this can't go on that long. It's just not plausible. So I keep walking, and I keep looking for a job, and I keep trying. And one day I'm gonna be glad I didn't give up. And one day, mark my words, I'll be inspiring to at least one person. If you've ever watched the homeless man's first video ever, then you know that's all it's ever been about. I sit here and I talk about making thousands of dollars on social media, which I'm not yet, but if you've watched from the beginning, then you know what I'm referencing. But fact of the matter is, I never set out to make any money. Go back and watch my first video ever. My first video ever, at that time, I was probably getting 10 views, if I was lucky. I didn't have any followers. Started a fresh account when I started doing this. Now my videos are getting in 100 to 200, 300 views each without ever being shared or pushed around the internet by anybody. Nobody hits the share button, you know. So I know sometimes you see like my videos get like 10 shares or 12 shares. That's me personally sharing it into like 12 different groups. I'm in like recovery groups or roller skating groups, or like a few of them are like Rockers United, rock groups, stuff like that. So I'll record like a rock video and I'll share it into like 10 different rock music groups. I'm about to go to the Failsafe, a Failsafe concert next Friday, actually. And so when I record Failsafe, I'm in the Failsafe fan group. Their Failsafe fan group has 5,000 members. So I record Failsafe doing a show at Whiskey's, and then I share it into their fan group, and guess what? A good percentage of them are going to watch that video because they're already fans of the band. And that's where most of my views come from. That's how I do it. You don't need 1,000 followers to get 1,000 million views or anything like that. You just got to share it into the right groups. But Facebook also limits how many times I can like share stuff. You know, I can only share like 50 times a day or whatever before they start telling me I can't share my posts anymore because of like spam risks or whatever. So That's where you guys come in. I need you guys to start hitting that share button and talking about what I'm doing, and and that's why I'm making this video, so maybe you guys can be a little bit more informed, and maybe it'll make a little bit more sense, and maybe I'll get a little bit more support. Yeah, I envy these people who amass these huge followings so quickly and everything. And a lot of that too has to do with the fact that these people are stable and they have money to invest, so they pay for Facebook ad spend. It's like $10 to target like 3,000 people, and that converts into a lot of followers if you have money for ad spend. But again, I got bigger issues, so Facebook ain't getting none of my money. Everything I've done so far has been completely organic. But yeah, my goal has always been to save one life. I kind of going back and forth on this topic now. I really need to clarify this. When I started social media, my goal was to save one life. I said in my first video ever, if I save one person, if I inspire one person, it was worth it. Okay? And I thought I'd be able to find a job and fix my life that way. And then social media turned into a much larger picture for me, a much bigger dream. I couldn't find a job, so I'm like, hey, maybe I can get monetized, start making some money that way. So the goal has changed, but it's evolved into the fact that what I really want to do now is take Mark Zuckerberg's fucking money and pay for people to go to rehab. Okay? The dude is a fucking billionaire, and he's never done anything. If you ride a motorcycle, please ride safely. I'm going to stop this video right now. That scares the shit out of me. Please, if you're a motorcycle rider, I know y'all love to have fun, but please be careful. Alright? I'm going to share a memory with you guys. The subject just completely changed because that happened. But I will share a memory with you guys. I said in an earlier video, the homeless man has PTSD. When I was 6 years old, my father was a tow truck driver. He got called out to a call in the middle of the night. I was with him. My mother was not around to watch me, so he had to put me in the car seat, and I was facing forward. The call that he got called to was a motorcycle rider whose helmet came off, and his head was still in the helmet in a tree 50 yards away. I was 6 years old when I saw that, and that memory comes to mind every single time I see one of you guys fly down the road, okay? Please be careful. Please. Okay, no family ever wants to deal with that. Please be careful. So like I was saying, Mark Zuckerberg is a fucking billionaire, and he's never done anything to help a homeless person in his whole life. So if he's monetizing people and he's paying for views, likes, and shares, I want to take as much of his motherfucking money as possible, and then I want to be able to go on camera and talk about how I'm taking Mark Zuckerberg's fucking money and actually helping people in real life. Okay? But I can't do that. I can't do that without you guys. Like, share, comment, follow, talk about the homeless man, this dude that goes to these music shows and festivals, and sober lit family. Some of y'all know more than others, but for my OG followers who actually watch this all the way through, I'm sure you're gonna understand a little bit more about what's going on. All right, so please help me take Mark Zuckerberg's fucking money so that I can be able to go on camera and actually start changing lives like I set out to do in the first place. All right. As I said in just a video just the other day, the more you follow your dreams, the more you get ideas along the way. Things change, ideas develop, you get better at what you're doing. So just don't give up. All right? This is my dream, but whatever your dream is, Don't give up on it. All right? Anyway, I think this video has been long enough, guys. I'm pretty sure I've explained pretty well of what it is we're trying to do here. So, I'm going to keep walking to therapy. And, yeah. I probably won't be live for a little while. If anybody needs me, you know how to get a hold of me. But I have to catch up on a lot of video uploads. So there's more videos coming out. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time I'm live. Till then, love yourself, love others, love the world around you. Peace.